I've included timestamps both in the video description and in my pinned comment, so if you're a returning player and you just want a quick head start, go ahead and reference that for any parts of the video you want to skip ahead to. If you're a new player, you can go ahead and follow along to this video. I'm going to be reading out the notes that I wrote to myself and just pointing out various things throughout the video. You can start off as any starting class. I'm going to go ahead and go with Wretch just because all stats are put to 10. And this will work with any starting class. May as well go with this one. It's really well uniform. As far as the keepsake is concerned, you can choose whatever item you want. I usually go for stone sword keys, but again, with this method, you can choose whichever one. It doesn't really matter. So just as initial notes here, we're gonna book it to the Gatefront Grace, where you get Torrent. I'm gonna pick up a few items along the way. Mainly just the Golden Rune level 2 and the Kukris. The Kukris are important because they're required in order to cheese the Knight's Cavalry in Dragonbarrow. If you're unfamiliar with it, it's pretty simple. It's really nice, actually. I use the Shortbow to aim it, but you can free aim it if you know how to do it. But if you're a new player, most likely you don't. And so the Shortbow, or any bow, with the crosshairs, it will aim the throwing items that you can use, and not just daggers. You can do it with pots as well. Any item that you can throw, a bow is really good to utilize the crosshairs in order to aim it. And so you throw it after aiming it, and the noise of the kukri is the loudest among the daggers, at least. If you use a regular throwing dagger, it's not loud enough, but a kukri produces more sound, and that draws the Knight's Cavalry attention toward the edge, and then on top of a branch, and then he falls to his death, rightfully so. Now I'm going to put a Memory of Grace here, because I'm going to be using it just to quickly escape a few parts throughout this video. You use it to teleport back to the last site of Grace you rested at, or the one that you discovered, but you lose all of your runes in the process. However, since I'm not going to have any runes on my person until it's available, there's no risk of losing it. That's why I left notes to myself to kind of make it as linear as possible. I mean, you'll probably lose a few hundred runes, which it's not a big deal. So most of the graces I get will be required, you know, as far as just to make fast traveling back to it much faster. But I'm always an advocate of, if it's on the way, go ahead and get it. So feel free to get other stuff you want along the way. This is mainly just highlighting the bare minimum. And the reason I'm coming over here is just to avoid the Tree Sentinel's aggro range. And so this is the Golden Rune level 2 item. That's going to help me purchase some stuff later from Santa over there. We're going to be coming back to this Grace later on as well. And I'm just going to book it to Gatefront. And I'm going to pick up the Kukris along the way. They're in front of a crouching soldier with a torch. Actually, I already did this run, but it was pretty informal. I was just streaming and then singing to myself, and then rather interestingly, to say the least, because you can't really hear yourself too well when you're singing along to another song. So my pitch was questionable, but it was all in good fun. However, this is a pretty good route. It ended up being faster than the Monstrous Crow in Mogwin Palace, at least initially. So it deserves a formal video here. And just skip through her dialogue.
You need to the foot. Then it's settled. Summon me. Ah, I bequeath. Use it. It will summon torrent. Treat him with.
And then I am gonna rest until morning just so that the Night Cavalry doesn't give me a hard time later. Since they only spawn at night, I'm gonna go ahead and put the whistle there, and then I'm gonna come up here first to get a golden seed, the Stormhill Shack Grace, a stone sword key, and the strength tier. The strength tier is required in order to wield the Lordsworn's greatsword that I'm going to be using to kill the Bloodhound for his Bloodhound's Fang. The only thing I can mention here is if you decide to start off as hero, you don't need the strength tier. Although actually, never mind, because the Bloodhound's Fang, which is the weapon we're going to be using, that's the stone sword key there, does have a strength requirement of 17, I believe. No, it's 18. Either way, it's more than 16. So, either way, you do still need this tier if you want to use the Bloodhound's Fang. And then the strength tier is just past this roaming giant. The beauty of the strength tier and really all of the other attribute tiers is they add 10 points to the status, or the attribute. And so the strength tier will add plus 10 to our strength. Because I love a route where you don't have to level up at all. That's why I like to start off as Wretch. It's pretty even. And then you can make whatever build you want after you farm. Okay. So even though I'm not going to be crafting, I'll just get the resins here in case you want to craft some blood greases or other greases later on. And then I'm going to head north here to get Golden Vow, rather. And this technically isn't required here because a Bloodhound's Fang +4 is perfectly capable of killing the Godskin Apostle later. But it's on the way. It's a really good Ash of War. You may as well get it. So I can just sneak up behind this dude and do one charge, two-handed heavy, and another one knocks him off. And then riposte when he's on the ground. And one more charged, two-handed. Finishes him off. Wonderful. Bye, horsey! I'm sorry I hit you. I normally don't like to hit the horse, actually. I always parry him off his horse. But, you know, for the sake of brevity, we just have to heavily bruise the horse. Now, this is an Exalted Flesh. It raises your attack power, I think, by 20% for physical damage. This, too, is not necessarily required for this route. But if you do want to get the gold scarab, which I'll show later on in the video, it is required. And then this is Alexander. And so 2 charged, two-handed heavies will just pop him out. There we go. And speak to him again for the second Exalted Flesh. Alright, thank you. Head back down here. Go ahead and get this grace. And we're going to continue past the bridge and head southeast to get a recipe for the sleep pots and a few more rune items. The sleep pots are required in order to put the Godskin Apostle to sleep later on. And then the rune items help just to ensure we have enough runes to purchase 3 pots, a crafting kit, and a torch from Sienna back at the Church of Elleh later. It's kind of weird for me to explain all of this because it bombards me that new players would want to skip new content, but you know, to each their own. Trina's Lilies, also good for sleep. Actually required for the sleep pots, so you want to pick those up too. I'm going to be picking up all the Trina Lilies I get on the way. Now this fall is safe, but only on Torrent. If you're not on Torrent, pretty sure you die, so just make sure you're on Torrent when you fall down. And as far as these runes go, I only need to get a few. And then this is the main component here. This is the sleep recipe. Alright, I didn't get that one, that's fine. Just grab that one, and I'm fine. And then here, drop down to this. And then head toward the church. Or the wondrous Physick. Is it Flask of Wondrous Physick? Is that the formal name? I'm pretty sure. Either way, the Physick thing that you need in order to mix the tiers in. And may as well get Sacred Tear, improve our flask. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna head southwest, more south-southwest, and I'm gonna get the map for this region of the Mistwood, more tears, more Trina Lilies, the Axe Talisman, and then Fort Height, which is where one of the halves of the Dectus medallion is. This is essential, this is required in order to get to Godskin Apostle. Yoink. And the tiers are going to be up here. Just spam the Y button. And then southwest over here to the ruins, where there's a sleeping rune bear. I'm just going to stay on Torrent and speed gather the Trina Lilies around him for the sleep pots. Like that. And then I'm just going to go down here, dismount Torrent, and then this is where the Axe Talisman is. And then I'm going to open the map there just so it doesn't get in my way later. And let's see if the Rune Bear hits me on my way out. Oh, nice. Sometimes his roar will hit you. But that time he was nice to me. Alright, let me just scroll down the notes here. Ooh, I'm way past all that. Okay, cool. Alright, get this. I'm not gonna get the cookbook inside of one of the rooms at this fort, but it is a good one to have. It allows you to craft blood grease, and even though it's not required for this method, it will be required for scripting the Abandoned Knight duo boss fight, where the Gold Scarab is. And so, I'm just gonna get the Grace now, so I can get it later. But of course, if you want to get the recipe now, feel free. I'm just gonna get the Blood Roses. But yes, the recipe is in that room over there. Alright, just keep sprinting because that knight... where is he? Oh, wow. Oh my god, really? That's a first? The trash mob is faster. Okay, anyway, just have the Memory of Grace at the ready here. Gonna go ahead and grab this. And head back. There we go. Alright, from here, we're gonna go ahead and head back to the Gatefront ruins. And then we're gonna pick up the Lordsworn's Greatsword, the map, and the Whetstone. And I'm just gonna sneak behind this guy and do a charged two-handed heavy attack. Because he always hits me when I try to get this thing. There we go. Okay. And then get the map. Thank you. And then right over here, dismounting Torrent, down over yonder for the Whetstone. This is required in order to put Ashes of War on your weapons. And then I'm going to go ahead and get this Grace in case I want to come back later to fight Patches for the Gold Pickle Foulfoot recipe. And as well to purchase 3 additional Gold Pickle Foulfoots too. And after that, I'm going to head east, southeast here. And I'm going to go ahead and bonk over here, disguised as a bush. Because he gives you 10 free mushrooms. Which is really good. You need mushrooms in order to craft the pots. so you may as well. Okay, and then from here, I'm only going to pick up a gold pickle foulfoot. You can start picking up, for example, the smithing stone level 1 there, and then there's a somber smithing stone 1 over there. But I'm going to be purchasing all of that with the Knight Cavalry runes, so I don't really need to get that. But if you want to, it's there. But the gold pickle foulfoot is up on this hill over here. Okay. And then I'm going to book it to the Eggheel South Lake Grace, I believe it's called. I always just call it the Bloodhound Grace. It's the closest site of grace to the Bloodhound boss fight. Over here southward. Alright, so I'm going to rest here and do several things. One, I may as well upgrade my flasks. And I'll go ahead and give myself 2 of the blues. And then the Wondrous Physick, you need the strength tier, and you may as well do the green spill just for some extra stamina, since the greatsword is pretty stamina hungry. And if you really wanted to, you could also equip Golden Vow on your club at this point, but it's not necessary for this fight, so you may as well just save it. Alright, so I'm going to drink the flask now, just so I can use the weapon once I enter. And I recommend keeping this one-handed. I do have a video where I go in depth as to the tactics for this fight. I'll go ahead and link that in the description and the pinned comment as well. Come on. Oh, Bloodhound, come on. Took you long enough. Jeez. Just for that, we're gonna style on you. There we go. A pretty good way to script him there. Well, kind of. It's not really a script, but anyway, you can watch the video for the details on that. Okay, so from here, warp back to the Church of Elleh. Go ahead and punch Ronnie just to get the bell faster. Always makes me laugh.
This way, tarnished. May I have a word?
1, 2, 3.
No sense in arguing, I see.
I'm gonna go ahead and rest. Just so she goes away. Awesome. I'm not going to be using it in this video, but may as well get it. What I am going to do, though, with my runes that I got from Bloodhound, purchase the 3 pots, the crafting kit, and the torch. And actually, go ahead and sell just one of these 200 ones. Because now I'm going to go to the first step, Grace. Get another gold pickle foulfoot by using the Spirit Spring on Torrent to safely drop down to the beach. And then head toward the beach merchant down there for the Shortbow, so that I can aim the kukris where I need to lure Knight Cavalry to his death. Alright, that's where the gold pickle foulfoot is. And the merchant is over yonder.
I want any trouble.
Alright, thank you. And then after that, come back to the Third Church of America site of Grace, and we're going to take the teleporter nearby to head to Dragonbarrow, where Knight Cavalry is waiting for us. But I'm not going to cheese him right away. I am going to make my way to Fort Ferrith first for the other half of the Dectus medallion, as well as Radigan's Soreseal, which is a talisman or neck equipment piece that you also need in order to wield the Godskin Peeler. Because the Godskin Peeler, I think, requires 17 strength and 22 dex. And the dex tier I'm going to get later only gives you plus 10 dexterity, so the Soreseal makes up the difference. And plus it's right there, you may as well get it. But in this case it is required. Okay, and then here, I'm just going to head south across this bridge. The dragon shouldn't be a problem, but, you know, just sprint and haul ass under him. Yeah, he didn't even aggro, that's fine. So I'm just going to follow this road up until I get behind this minor Erd tree. There is a spirit spring behind here that I'm going to take upward into the actual fort. The music is really appropriate right now. You won't hear it because I have the audio channel muted, but yeah, I'm listening to like some anime stuff right now because I am an anime nerd, and it's actually really fitting. And she's a great vocalist too. Okay, Fort Ferrith, here we are. So grab the Grace, and if you want, I do, go ahead and get a torch just so you can see where you're going. And let's see if I get poisoned. It's literally 50-50. I have done this the exact same way, sprinted the same direction, and I either get poisoned or I don't. So let's see. It doesn't matter if you do, you can actually survive. There we go. I mean, feel free to heal if you want to, but you can actually make it to the seal with health available. But I'll go ahead and heal, just so that, I don't know, just cause. Like, here's a good place to heal. There is a rat over there that's gonna try and nibble at you, so just nyerk. I did a sprint jump there, but you can do a regular jump too. Dodge that, come down here, have the Grace ready, and go back. I would recommend preparing the Grace there before you get here, but, you know, as you saw, you had enough time. Alright, so at this point, you don't have to go to Round Table, but she's gonna bother you at some point anyway, so you may as well. I'm gonna go ahead and just reject the Round Table invitation. Okay. Now I'm gonna prepare for the Night Cav cheese, so I'm gonna equip the Shortbow, and then I'm going to put the Kukris here, and I am not going to use the Gold Pickle Foulfoots. May as well put the Axe Talisman for later. And then head back to the Farum Great Bridge. I actually forgot to two-hit. There we go. Now you do need to have it be nightfall, so you could have rested until nightfall back then, but I'll just do it here. You still have a good amount of time. You don't have to do it right away, but it does need to be nighttime. And then you just head along this path and drop down, and then head to the farm spot. Well, not farm spot, but the cheese spot, rather. Now, there was a safer way to drop down here. Let's see. It was over here, wasn't it? Yes, okay. I usually drop down on this branch over here, but you take some fall damage, so if you want to just be safer, then sorry. Yeah. So, you come by this branch here, you aim right there, have the kukris at the ready, and when you see Knight Cavalry go over that broken piece of the bridge, go ahead and throw it, crouch back down, wait a few moments, aim it right there, and then throw another one. And when you see him fall like that, you know you did it correctly. There we go. Alright, so at this point you could level up if you want to, and you get Bloodhound Step, which is awesome. However, you do want to save at least 20,000 runes, because it's going to cost you 19,480 runes in order to buy the 4 Somber Smithing Stones and upgrade the Bloodhound's Fang to +4. So just keep that in mind. You can level up now, but just keep at least 20,000 runes remaining. But I'm just going to go ahead and keep all my runes. Either way, when you're done, you can come back here to Stormhill Shack and make your way to Liurnia and head toward the academy. I may as well equip the Bloodhound Fang now. Actually, since it's nighttime, I'm just going to stick to the left over here, just so these things don't bother me. You know, I'm actually not used to the hood being on all the time. There, just going to have it be on auto. You don't need that, but I grab it just because, again, it's on the way. There is like a little shortcut jump you could do over there, but the time I waste trying to do it, I would have been much better off just coming down the guaranteed path. And I may as well get the Sacred Tear. That's just over here. Okay, game, can you not? Why is it always in this area? Oh, anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and purchase a lantern just cause I want to. That's another thing too, if you do want to purchase a lantern, it's 1800. I mean, you would have already leveled up by now. I'm pretty sure you would have 1800 left. I don't think you can save 200k exactly, so there should be some left over. And even if there's not, you still have other rune items you can use too. But anyway, just going to continue down this path until I reach the teleporter over there in that... Would you call it a gazebo? The stone structure. Sure. This will take us to the Academy South Gate. Or more formally known as the South Raya Lucaria Gate. Okay. You do definitely want to get this Grace. I'm going to be coming back here. And then from this Grace, we're going to head south-southeast, but I'm going to drop down here first. You can go ahead and just sprint on Torrent, and then as it's sprinting, just do a extended double jump like that, and you should land safely. If you fall all the way down, you will die, so you do need to jump down there halfway to avoid fall damage. And then from here, just going to stick to the south-southeast over here. And in case you do want to do the Monstrous Crow farm later on, right, even though it is a little slower, like I actually tested it, this was faster for the first 62 levels, maybe even 80. But you may as well get this Grace as well. And then continue south-southeast for the Dex tier. Maybe once upon a time, the Crow farm was the quickest early game, like to get to it anyway, but with the online multiplayer being heavily varied, sometimes you find a session instantly, sometimes you don't. But anyway, there's the Dex tier. After the Dex tier, you'll come northeast, just to get the Boil Prawn Shack Grace. And this is good whenever you want to do the Raya quest later, just to get a shortcut to Volcano Manor if you want to. And then once you have that, come back to the South Raya Lucaria Gate. Then we're going to go ahead and jump down again, but this time we're going to head northeast-ish. Over here. More so east-east-north. But yeah, you know, just kind of follow this path over here. We're going to take another teleporter that's going to transport us to Iji, who's going to upgrade our Fang for us. Alright, right here. There is a Grace back there. You can grab it if you want. I'm not going to since, you know, it's literally just a tutorial video. But you can come over here and just stick to the left side. There is an illusory wall there you can hit, but, you know, this is just faster. Yoink. Alright, grab the Grace. And upgrade the weapon to +4 by first purchasing levels 1 through 4 of the Somber Smithing Stones.
I am an old story, perhaps.
Again, this will be cheaper depending on whether you picked up the first one back in Limgrave or not, but since I can afford it, I may as well get it. Okay, so now head eastward, or just stick to the right side of this path to avoid these, whatever you want to call them, the half-assed trap of Caria Manor. If you stick to the right side here, they never hit you. And then eventually we're gonna just stay eastward here and take a shortcut to the upper part of Liurnia and head our way to the lift of Dectus. And there should be a Trina's Lily literally on this direct path that I'll go ahead and pick up. May as well. There it is. Alright, and then this is the landmass bridge that connects the two regions. Ah, beautiful. Double jump. And there we go. And there's another merchant there if you want to see what they have. That one I think just has... I forget what it's called, but you can charm enemies to fight each other. It's actually quite useful for a few situations. But I don't need it, so not gonna get it. But I will grab the Sacred Tear here. Yoink. And then just stick to the left side here, heading northeast toward the Grand Lift of Dectus. Staying on the left side here helps you avoid the trebuchets that would otherwise fire at you if you stayed on the main path. Now this jump, I wouldn't rush it, just kind of pause here, then jump slowly, and then double jump. If you're a little too gung-ho about it, you can fall through. Oh, damn it. YouTube did the dumb thing where it's like, are you still watching? Yes, I am, but I'm recording something right now. I can't tell you I'm still watching. I hate that they did that. You know they did that so that you could do their whole YouTube premiere crap. Anyway, dissing YouTube on YouTube, imagine. I'm not the first one. Anyway, it's not a big deal. Anyway, once you get the grace, then you hum back over here. And you actually take the Grand Lift of Dectus using the medallion. You should see a prompt that says hoist the medallion and press Y or whatever that button is for you. Whoops. And then from here, we're just gonna book it on through. General direction northeast into north, back northeast. We're gonna make our way toward the Godskin Apostle at this point. We have our weapon, we have our tears, we have victory. And since it's still nighttime, just kind of hang out over here so Night Cavalry doesn't really notice us. He usually doesn't. Right. May as well grab the grace. Unless you really are keen on coming back here to do it again. And another golden seed. And the map for this region. Alright, so this merchant also sells stone sword keys if you ever want some more. You'll be able to afford it. You can afford it now if you really want to. But we're not going to be using them here. Okay, several things here. One, may as well upgrade your flasks. And then you don't need 3, but I just put 3 there just cuz. And then go ahead and mix in your dexterity tier so that you have both strength and dexterity. For the Ash of War, go ahead and put Golden Vow on your club. Alright, club there. Bloodhound's Fang +4 there. Axe Talisman here, just to enhance the charge attacks of the two-handed heavy that we're gonna do. And now, go ahead and craft 2 sleep pots and equip it on your quick menu. And this is the basic setup. So I'm just gonna two-hand my weapon there now and take the teleporter to get to the other side of the bridge. And I'm gonna take this opportunity to tell YouTube, yes, I'm still here. Alright, and then we're gonna head toward Windmill Village over there. That is where Godskin Apostle is hanging out. I'm just gonna follow this path here, and then... It's not that one. I always get confused which one it is. It's this one. There we go. You can get the Grace if you want, but since the Grace does appear after you kill Godskin Apostle, I'm just gonna wait till I get that one. Now for this one, rather than going up the main path here, we're gonna sneak around this windmill structure so that he doesn't see us and we're able to throw a sleep pot and catch him by surprise. So dismount Torrent around here. You can see that Godskin's already walking up, trying to be all badass. So you want to stand over this patch of grass here. Okay, so I lost about 2 minutes because my controller died and then he killed me. So anyway, I'm just gonna drink the Physick, throw the sleep pot. There we go. And then Golden Vow. Drink Cerulean. Sleep pot at the ready again. Two-hand the Fang. Charged R2. Weapon art fully. There we go. That should put him in the second phase. Throw another sleep pot. Another charged two-handed attack. And then the weapon art. And finish him off. There we go. Okay, so after that, all you need to do now is just head all the way back to Limgrave, to the Agheel South Lake, or Lake South Grace, and get the Morning Star off the Weeping Peninsula section. And then you'll be ready to farm Greyoll. So it's going to be over here, southeast, more southward. Now, usually you can keep sprinting here and that doesn't hit you, but you know, just kind of be at the ready for that. May as well get that smithing stone and another stone sword key here. And then several things to get this grace. If you do want to speed up Vada's questline, you can just come and kill Irina for the blood. Or if you want to keep her alive, then you can do the Madness Church. I think I did that in my other video where I did the crow farm. If you want to see that one too, it's in the video description. But yeah, Morning Star's here. Just go ahead and grab it. Smithing stone level 2 there. And since we're already here, may as well get the grace next to this merchant. He also sells infinite kukris, so in the event that nightcap cheese did not go as planned, you can always come back to this dude and buy more. Alright, with that, I'm just going to go ahead and equip Godskin Peeler, Morning Star, Radigan's Soreseal. Just get rid of that. Don't need it. Put the gold foot there. And we are ready to farm Greyoll. Now I'm just going to do it until I get to about 490,000. Just make sure. Yes, okay. So, go ahead and drink your Physick. I'll take it now. And just spam the weapon art. With this method, you can always kill Greyoll twice with one active Pickle Foulfoot. And so I'll be able to kill Greyoll 4 times here with 2 Pickled Foulfoots active, and then the remainder will just be done without the bonus from the item. I think Gold Pickle Foulfoot gives you 30% rune acquisition extra, and then Gold Scarab gives you 20%, and then combined is 56%. Okay, so when the health is at that level, go ahead and get on Torrent. You need to be on Torrent for this. And you're going to hit Greyoll 15 times. What I like to do is just count 3 sets 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Hemorrhaged. And then sprint back to the Grace. And rest. Ta-da! She's still there. But we got the runes. And now, just do it again. Okay. Let's see. 56:30. Wow, that's consistent. Yeah, subtract 2 minutes from that for my earlier whoops. And yeah, in 54 minutes, round it up to 55 if you must, but yeah, in 54, 55 minutes, you can get, let's see, it should be 62. Yep, 62 levels, and that's without the gold scarab, and that's also without you wanting to go and get the additional cookbook to get more gold pickle Foulfeet, or just purchase 3 more from patches. So what I'm gonna do here on out, this stuff will be optional, but yeah, this is the bare minimum. So if you just want those extra 62 levels under an hour, this is how you would do it. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and show how to get the gold scarab very easily.